Hello, everybody. Welcome to Scotty's Side. Thank you for joining me today. Got a video here I found from Gent Z. Why young men love old movies. I have not seen this, so let's see what they have to say, huh? And they got Bond here next to Ken, right? From the new Barbie shit.
Why is it that young men, guys in their 20s and even teens, are more drawn to James Bond, The Godfather, and Rocky than to modern Hollywood? These movies are decades old, yet they resonate more with us than modern blockbusters. Why? The answer is simple. These movies present something that modern culture denies us. A masculine ideal. Not a superhero, not a clown, but a man. And when Hollywood stopped giving us that, young men began looking to the past. Hello, my name is James, and I am on a mission to create a generation of gentlemen. First, let's take a look at the state of masculinity in modern Hollywood.
Okay.
The problem with most modern male characters is that they don't present a healthy, strong idea of masculinity. They're either a joke, a coward, or so broken and defeated that they are useless. Take a look at Ryan Gosling's portrayal
Luke Skywalker
in the recent Barbie movie. This character is a buffoon, and his masculinity is treated as a punchline. Thor in Love and Thunder. He was once a mighty warrior, but now he is a clown who bumbles his way through defeated battles. Then we have defeated men, like Indiana Jones in The Dial of Destiny. Indiana Jones was once a fearless adventurer, but now he's been reduced to a washed-up old relic. And even Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. They took him from a hero to a bitter, broken man hiding on an island. And the other damaging archetype we see in modern Hollywood is the passive man. Take a look at Paul Atreides in Dune, played by Timothée Chalamet. Instead of having a commanding presence, his character is incredibly reactive and emotional. And then we look at Robert Pattinson's interpretation of Batman. He completely lacks the confidence of the older Batmans. Instead, we see this moody, indecisive emo. And what...
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the new Batmans or any new superhero movies in general. So I don't know. I don't know what they're looking like or how they're acting or anything like that. But if this is how it is, damn, that sucks. And it's no wonder guys are watching like old James Bond or old Indiana Jones where they're actual men. They're manly men. Of course, and of course that would be why, I don't know, are action movies still a thing? I don't know. I don't go to the movies. So if that's how it is, that sucks.
All of these characters have in common? They lack competence, presence, mastery, strength. Whereas old movies gave us men who took action. Today's male characters are written to second-guess themselves. They are written to be vulnerable, to be self-deprecating. And it all comes down to this problem. Hollywood wants to create an image that is relatable to the modern man. But us men don't want relatable. We want something to aspire to. And this brings me nicely onto what the old Hollywood movies got right about masculinity. There is so much that these older movies gave us that modern culture does not. One of the most important traits that these characters portrayed was mastery and competence. Look at James Bond. He's always cool, controlled, and one step ahead. Michael Corleone was quiet and calculating, a master at reading people. And even Rocky Balboa, while not the strongest man, he was the most disciplined. Secondly, these old school icons had an elegance and mystery that many leading men today completely lack. You see, old school masculinity wasn't just about toughness. It was about grace, charm, and strategy. So many characters in modern movies today.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at these guys from the older movies, they weren't always the biggest guys. Like James Bond isn't a huge, like, you know, roided up, massive guy. He's like a regular sized dude. There was what's that one? There was a movie. It was with the second Bond, Roger Moore. And I mean, even though Roger Moore's kind of tall, but they put him up against like Jaws, right? Where he was like throwing him around and everything like that. He had to use his wits and his smarts to get out of that. Same thing with Indiana Jones. He was fighting that German guy. And then he got him to where he got in the propeller blade or whatever, because he was way bigger than him and was beating the shit out of him. But he had to use his smarts. He had to use his cunning to get out of that. It wasn't all about just muscle. There was way more to a man than just that.
Are this awkward, bumbling, nice guy trope. But what men really want to see is somebody like Cary Grant in North by Northwest. He's confident, he's clever, and even when he finds himself caught in a serious jam, he maintains his composure. The third thing I love about the old school Hollywood characters is that these men took action. In The Godfather, we don't see Vito Corleone whining and crying about his trauma. He just takes action and makes things happen.
Fuck yeah.
In Dr. No, Sean Connery didn't go around asking for permission. He took control of the situation. And you compare that with today's heroes who need a 3-minute monologue to explain why they feel sad. Modern Hollywood has simply forgotten what makes a man captivating to watch. But a big reason why many young men love these movies: many men of my generation grew up without fathers, or without a strong male role model. And when a young man sees James Bond, Clint Eastwood, or Steve McQueen, he sees a man that can become his mentor. We have a whole generation of men who weren't able to learn about masculinity from people in their immediate environment. So they have no choice but to learn it from movies. And honestly, you can learn more from one Rocky training montage than you can from an entire season of a modern TV show. Because modern Hollywood doesn't just ignore strong men, it actively destroys them. And the final nail in the coffin here: the rise of social media and the decline of mystique. When you look at icons like Cary Grant, Sean Connery, Steve McQueen, they built personas. They were enigmatic, larger than life. But today's celebrities are so focused on being relevant, they overshare, they beg for attention on social media. Men used to admire actors because they seemed like something they could aspire to. They had an aura about them. They seemed slightly not of this world. But as soon as you begin to know too much about somebody, it kills that aura and that presence.
I agree. You know, back then, switch to the big head, a lot of these things too is these guys that you would look up to, the heroes or whatever, did they seek validation? No. Like this guy's saying, this James guy, they just took action. There was no, am I doing this? Should I do this more for likes, for more views, for whatever? No. They did what they did because that's who and what they were. And they took action. They made things happen. They were masculine men making the world go round, making things work. I totally agree with that here. Great point.
And I'm not saying there aren't some big advantages to social media, even some big advantages to breaking that barrier between icon and fan. But in terms of setting an example of strong masculinity, this was much easier to do in the 60s and 70s with traditional media than it is today on social media. So, as men, what can we do about this? What can we do when modern Hollywood is only showing us weak interpretations of masculinity and all the best interpretations of masculinity are from the past? Well, it all comes down to us and how we live our lives. The most important thing is you learn to become competent. Pick a skill, any skill, and master it. Whether that's fitness, fighting, style, or business. You really can choose your own domain here, but having competence in a skill is the foundation of confidence. Second, cultivate your presence. For the majority of people, there is no benefit to oversharing online. It's much better and much more powerful to let people wonder about you. Give space for that mystery to develop. And
I would say do that if you care. If you care about any of that kind of stuff. I don't really care. The first point, let me go back a little bit here, was learn to become competent. Learn to become competent. I think that's good. Yeah, absolutely. Be the best at whatever you want to do. I think that's great because it's gonna be for you and it's gonna make you feel better, and you're gonna be able to push yourself. Do it for you, not for anybody else. I think we're about here. Let's try it.
Dress with intention. The way you look and your presence as a result will command respect. And third, take action. Stop waiting for permission to do great things and to be great. And never apologize for being masculine. The reason young men love old movies is because they show us the men we wish we could be. But if modern culture won't give us these role models, we have to create ourselves in the image of yesteryear.
Fuck yeah.
Gentlemen, I would love to know down in the comments.
All right. And I love that little quote he said there. Never apologize for being masculine. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. See what some of these comments say. Old movies were made by people who've experienced life at its hardest. Modern movies are made by people who've experienced life at its easiest. Yeah, 2.3 thousand likes. I can see why. And that's a damn good point. That's a damn good point. Yeah, those older movies were made by people who went through some hard times. They didn't have a lot growing up. They were really poor, living in places that may not have even had electricity or running water. And so there had to be a masculine presence, you know? Damn, here's a secret. Men love masculinity. New Hollywood trying to tell us otherwise is why we go to the classics. Modern is gay, old is normal. Gay! We'll leave it at that. All right, guys. Please comment below what you think. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.